Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up a telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues trending. But most important, you may have a particular topic that you want to raise, a particular question you might want to ask, or an opinion. We express our opinion on any subject matter once we are comfortable with the topic. But even if we don't know, some other caller may able to speak on the topic. The number to call is 442-0175. We're on RealFM, YouTube, and we have our Facebook page. We own it too. So you could pick up the telephone and give us a call. We always encourage people to discuss issues. You don't have to be right all the time. You could discuss an issue and express an opinion on it. Grenada has had quite a lot of contentious issues. You know, we are a beautiful little island. Even if every time you have a little mishap or an act of violence, it is blown out of proportion. We are a small population, about 100,000 people, 110,000 people. We have not increased our population in any significant way over the last 8 decades. And if you meet 10 people in Grenada that you did not know, when you start to speak to them, you might be amazed that either they're relatives, some good friend of yours, or you're in some similar organization. That should encourage us to respect one another, to have dialogue with one another. A few days ago, I was in a community and a number of 4 or 5 young men engaged me in discussion. They were regular listeners to my program. A couple of them were strong NDC supporters, and they took objection with some of my programs because they felt I was attacking NDC unnecessarily. I had a nice little conversation with them, and we promised to continue our conversation. I'm always soft on politicians. I think politicians is under immense pressure. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre,
yes, my brother, welcome.
Some kind of host today.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Because the NIS, I don't know if they want people to death so they get it, so they will able to get it, the money. I understand the increasing of the age. So based on what I know, I feel over 75% of people do happen to make it the age to get a pension. And I think what they should be doing, the people who don't make it and contribute all that, some people right on the tip, they happen to die. Why have to they also they should have to take all the funeral expenses and everything from the people? Because the people contribute the money they contribute that more than the funeral expenses. So this guy giving these people 2,000 something and the people find the response. Based on the contribution they make, they supposed to cover for that. And those when they are in the board meeting and they should discuss this thing. Because some people pay and this man they just reach and it's tape to reach and they die. And in fact, most of them, and even this pension scheme what the government had to, everybody had to pay taxes for just less than 1% of the population to receive a pension. That can never be right. They're supposed to reform this thing. You can't be working harder and pay just for two individuals just to get a pension, and the rest of people working harder in greater hard not to get. That can be right. This pension thing is supposed to reform, and I support in reforming. And NIS is supposed to go up and bury the people who spend the money. Because people contribute for all these years, and they almost to the end, they happen to die. And you raise the age just because you don't want to find people living too long. So you don't want to get them to get benefits. So all these things should be reformed. Take care, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar. And I think you're correct. I have serious issues with NIS. It's an area is difficult to engage discussion because I'm disappointed that the trade union are not asking questions about NIS. Why everybody seems to buy line, hook, and sinker the NIS story that it is necessary to raise the pension age and raise the contribution. I beg to differ. NIS eventually would raise the pension age to 75. And after they will raise it again. And it seems once we continue the trend, there is no pressure on NIS management team to manage NIS properly. You know, it saddens my heart because a lot of the people who are running the institutions today are our children, are people from the proletariats. They are the children who the forefathers sent to get better education. And they are the ones tricking our people. One could easily ask, what is the administrative cost of NIS in ratio or in relationship to when NIS started? Vis-a-vis technology. Because if NIS have better technology, one would expect the administrative costs to reduce. One could simply ask, what is the rate of return on investment? NIS is supposed to invest our money so that the profit from the payments from NIS over a period of time would also come from the profit from investments. What is the ratio, the rate of investments? Is it increasing or is it decreasing? NIS don't tell you how much money they lose. And this is some of the challenge we have. So NIS is increasing the pension age and they're increasing the amount you pay. And they hope that you die quick after you retire. These institutions hope that you die and you hardly benefit from the money you pay. It saddens my heart. When the founding fathers instituted this pension scheme, and I think they squandering our money. I think they disrespecting individuals. And the saddest part of it, our own people doing it. The unions have 2 representatives on NIS board. Let me repeat that. The unions, I think, have 2 representatives on NIS board. You ever hear they speaking anything? Ever hear they explaining any issues to workers? They buy the actual report, line, hook, and sinker. And no questions is asked. NIS, let me give you an example now. NIS is changing the system that they have because of the technology involved. And from during the period of COVID-19, NIS has changed the method or the process in which contributions are made and names are submitted to NIS about 4 times. They change it without trying to educate the contributors. So there are some people in Grenada, particularly from the informal sector, that pays NIS. These people get sick. They went to the doctor. They got a sick leave, but they did not get any money. Because the method by which they should make the application to NIS was through the internet. And these people were not internet savvy. And adequate information wasn't provided to them. And the time passed in which they should submit their claim, and they didn't get any money. Now, if you're working with government, any big companies, Hubbards, Hoggins, any big supermarkets, any established system, they have personnel officers. So you don't have much of that problem. But if you're self-employed, you're working in the construction industry, the agriculture sector, the fishing industry, a bus driver and a conductor, or maybe somebody with one worker or two. That's where the challenge is. And the NIS staff has not been helpful. I think it's a wicked act. I think it is disgraceful and it is wicked. And some of these people went to doctor. Doctor gave them a sick leave. And because the system changed on them, and the employer is not savvy technology, based upon the technology, and the worker themselves is not savvy. So not to say the worker could help the employer, and the employer could help the worker. Time elapsed, and they don't get money. When our people are treating our people like that, it's sad. To compound this, NIS in this process now, it's going to reach a stage, no matter what they tell you about 65 years now. Just now they're going to go to 70 and 75 and pray you're dead so you don't get no money. While the authorities in NIS, the trade government representative and the union representative participate in this level of fraud on our poor people. As I say, the people in a more established system is better off. Some of them is going to retire, and some of them going to have investment. Some of them take out pension scheme in different insurance companies. But the same people that the government of today is insensitive to, the same people the government is desensitized and is treating with contempt and disdain, is the same people that are affected by NIS. We can't blame the Queen. We can't blame colonialism. We can't blame white people. We can't blame the Chinese or the Americans. We have to blame us. And this is why you hear sometimes I say, I don't care about the reparation. Because our people was selling slaves. African leaders supposed to give us reparation too. They were selling slaves for hundreds of years before the white man go and buy slaves. Our people in Grenada is tricking people in a lower income group. And then we have a number of people in a lower income group in Grenada. They playing iffy. They behaving as if them is a turkey cock. They pretending they high up in social status. Sometimes I believe some people have status jobs. They don't care about the amount of money they get because they could pretend to the neighbor that they're doing well. Let me give you an example. Somebody would leave Ticolo or Grenville or Tivoli or Hermitage, refuse to work for $900 and go to St. George's and work for $950. They don't have to pay the bus where they are. They're paying $200 or $300 for the bus. The area they work is next door. But it's a big status to say I'm working with a big company in town. And anytime somebody afraid to tell you how much money they're working for, they have a status job. There are a lot of people who are working in big firms in St. George's. They're working there for 25 years and the salary do reach $3,000. That same individual may not want to work with their parents for the same amount of money. I don't know if it's the education system that put us in that frame of mind. And perhaps that is why this group of politicians behaving so greedy. They want the money at all costs. Maybe that is why. They realized that politicians were not making money. When they was in the opposition, they run down and criticize the politician mercilessly. Now they believe it's their time come and they want money. I remember one ex-prime minister say, eat a food, the food go kill all you. I notice he's not saying anything now. I do hope that people would discuss NIS, trying to respond to the caller. I do hope that people would continue to talk about NIS, to point out how NIS is a far cry from the intention of the original fathers. And NIS is bad managing the money that they have, and that is why they feel it necessary to raise pension age and raise the contribution that people are getting. And it's sad. But as I say, I was speaking to these young men, and I was saying to them that I have a soft heart for politicians, and I don't readily criticize individual politicians. I am concerned about the policy of the political party and the policy of the government. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon. Yes. So the latest thing with NIS is that what they are doing is introducing a new system whereby every contributor have to give the email address and the phone number. So whenever they have to make a claim, they have to do it for themselves online. This is the latest with NIS. So investigate it. You will see what is happening.
And that is what is sad, because at this stage, there are people in this country without a phone. And there's a lot of people that don't have an email address. And there are a lot of people that are not literate where the computer is concerned.
Definitely.
So it's our people are tricking us.
It is a wicked system.
It's wicked. Yeah.
Have a good day.
Yes, my friend.
Bye.
And I am concerned about the policies of government. Both main political parties in Grenada, NNP and NDC, have similar macroeconomic policies. From time immemorial, both of them have similar macroeconomic policies. One of the big differences between NNP and NDC is the attitude of the political party to the lower income group. The NDC is not as inclusive as the NNP. You listen to Tobias Clement. When they asked him if he was going to join NDC, he said the NDC is not an inclusive party. Now, every political party in a country, one would hope that the political party seeks the interests of all the people of the country, particularly the people in the lower income group. But the NDC policy has been hostile to the people in the lower income group. They are not that inclusive. So while this is the reason that every time NDC go in power, they have to go in a lab, in a little room, and plan lies to woo people in the lower income group. They have to prepare molasses. They have to prepare cake. They have to prepare a package and niceties to deceive people in the lower income group. I call it a pile of lies. You go back. You don't have to believe me when I speak. Go back and look at NDC of the 1990s. Go and look at NDC in 2008. Take a look at NDC in 2022. They always have to come up with something spectacular to able to attract people in the lower income group. The NDC always more prepared to satisfy people in the higher income group. And we have some people middle of the line. They prefer to consider themselves as NDC because they see NDC with more status. This is why the Minister of Labor, even before she was the Minister of Labor, say the people is needy and greedy. This is why that term comes from them. This is why the motivational speaker, one of the most arrogant and despicable individual I have listened to, he said that he's nasty people. In a program he had for about an hour, he used the word nasty leader and nasty people about 12 times. This is why the Minister of Foreign Affairs had to draw a line and say, we're the good people. This is why one of the strategic experts on public policy analysts had to reinforce, we're the good people. This is why another member of the parliament had to talk about the good people. This is why the Minister of Agriculture was using the word lunatics and idiot for some people. But don't believe me. Hold discussion, be the devil's advocate, and engage some of the strong NDCs in your community. And I am betting you, and some NDC moderate try it. I'm betting you within 5 minutes, they tell you you're stupid and you're dunce. Or you don't have sense. Or you take bribe. Try it and see. You see, the policy of a political party or government is written, but it's also based upon the utterance and their habits and practice. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Just shift away a little bit for the
do that.
Program. Now, I listen. A lady gave a comprehensive report of how this program has been handled. She as manager, and then now I heard from the present administration saying that they add 700 people to the list. I want to know if you have any idea how much people what was removed from the list for 700. So much 700. Think about the figure to be added to the list. That means to say about 700 must be come out. I don't know. I just speculating because they wouldn't just add 700 because the lady gave a report that is not so easy to be considered to be a beneficiary of this program. So how so many people? I don't know if you have any idea about that.
I believe
how so many people get onto that program. Yeah.
I don't think they add all these people to the police. I think NDC just lie. You see, the party has been telling so much lies. They said doctors. They say there are doctors that benefiting in the seed program. And I say lock up the doctor. Name the doctor and lock. If it's one, name them and shame them. If it's 5, lock them up. The NDC like to tell lies and they just get tied up in the lie. They attack the seed program so much that when they come in, they must say something to justify the level of relentless attack they give it. They remove people on the seed program. Remember, caller, remember in 2008, they promised to raise the pay to $400. They use an individual, an old man, to advertise it. That was so unethical. And the man died. They ignored him. And they dropped out a number of people from the program, including 5 women from private. And you know it doesn't call man. I ain't calling those men. They say let them go and drink rum. 5 women. 2 of them is alive today. 1 is over 100. 1 is not well, very, very sick in bed. So the NDC are accustomed with a hostility to these people. Look at what they do now. They remove $150 from these people program without justification, without rationale. They only excuse advance. And I don't know if that was part of the package to get number 10 to support it, that the next government might have removed it. They remove $150 on the program. We had a sister from Ladig publicly telling them what the situation is. And one of the people visit us say, you have people worse than you on it. We have the people from the diaspora who glad now to jump up in galas. They don't make party no more, you know. It's galas. To flaunt their good looks and how well they could dress. To get photogenic, they attack people working for under $1,000. Some of them $600. Women with children. Disadvantaged children. The NDC attacked them. And they say the auxiliary staff in the schools, they're going to put it under the principal hand. So they want to make sure some of these poor NNP people don't get a job. And some of the political activists in the village, when you hear the utterance, let them starve. They are taking the cue from the people who say nasty people. They're taking the cue for those who say needy and greedy. Because you leaders set the pace. They set the standards. When you're hearing despicable words being used against a sector of the community that is low income, and even the trade union leaders, some of them openly support it, and some of them half-heartedly in glee. Now, how that could be right? And this is what I speak about. I told the guys that this is what I speak about. I'm not attacking individual members. I know there are political neophytes, but I'm concerned about the policy. Now, if a political party is accused of openly bribing another member of parliament, that ought to be concerned. If a political party has been accused, or it is alleged, or rumors is going around, that a political party offer a law, an incentive for another member of parliament to drum the fence, this ought to be of concern to everybody. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Scholar.
Yeah, how are you?
Great, man.
Yeah.
Just advise him.
I'm concerned about the Prime Minister's press conference yesterday. It seems as if we have very little journalists in Grenada now, because the journalists, they were actually asking for journalists to ask questions. And there was only 2 questions from only 2 journalists. So something seems to be wrong with our journalists. And I don't think the Prime Minister was on top of this press conference. I don't think he did fair to himself. I thought he was not fluent with his answers in a lot of cases. And he didn't really show me that the police there are structures in place to take care of the bad behavior going on in the country. I was not convinced this time around, and I was really much concerned about the journalists not being able to really come up with, just 2 journalists. The Prime Minister just came out from away almost 2 weeks, and we don't want to know what happened. There was not enough.
Dr. Bob was not there?
Huh?
Dr. Bob was not there?
No.
What's about the photogenic one? She wasn't there?
Not there. Only Linda Stricker and Miss Maguire. And we couldn't even hear their questions. The
mic wasn't working.
Not only the mic, but the host had also play the person that was in charge had also take the question from them and then give it to the Prime Minister to answer.
Well, sometimes it could be choreographed, well arranged. Remember, the NDC say information is by need to know, and the government is hiding away from information.
I thought that was one of
some of the journalists perhaps was strongly encouraged to stay away.
I don't know, but this was not impressive. I mean, he held all of a press conference already, and I thought he was good in his explanation and whatnot. This time, I don't think he was on top of it.
Well, 2 weeks, did he say what he got away for?
No, I think we need our journalists to not play game around.
Well, we don't have the Malcolm X. We just forget the history. Maybe if the NDC seems to be providing law for members of parliament to incentivize them to jump the fence, well, who knows if they do it for journalists?
I don't know, but I was not impressed at all. I wasn't impressed. I don't know, your good partner, your good NDC partner, I thought I would hear him today to give some backing on what was said, but it take root, it take a whole.
No, I think maybe you call later on.
All right, I'm listening to hear.
Yes, I think you will call later. So I was exchanging with the young men. We have to be concerned about the policy of a government. Whether we support a government or not, you have to concern about the policy. You may be very forgiving with the strategy or the mistakes they make. But if you see a government come with a policy that is sowing discord, that is causing divisiveness, a policy where they believe that some Grenadians should starve, they shouldn't work, and particularly if these people in the lower income group, they are not represented by unions. They are not represented by unions. You have a sister, government gave a piece of land. She paid down for the land. She paid the surveyor, I think it's $275 to survey the land. She was paying for the land. She had domestic problems, so she left the community and go back in Tikolo. They took the land away from her. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, tell these guys and them the way they behaving. 2.5 years ago, was one named Jovenel Moïse, president of Haiti, lost his life, and nobody know who did it. They arrest 1 million people, and no, they can't say nothing. So they have to be a little decent with the things they do and how they do it, man. All right.
Yeah. I believe that some of the problems we have in Grenada, it is because some of the people who claim they are moralists, the custodian of morality, who like to jump up and shout, they do it conveniently. They are not consistent. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. How
Yeah.
do you do? I find you talking like you can talk. Where you did? Hot yam?
Maybe the yam, then I didn't get the yam to eat. It would have been better. They say when the guy in Jamaica that was the fastest athlete, what's his name again? Bolt. Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
He says yam that caused him to think.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Mine would have been, if it was me, I would have said, well, honey, spice, and breadfruit. Yes,
Pierre, Parliament yesterday, you didn't listen. Why, when the opposition asking question to get information, what is the problem he not getting it?
Well, the government said they have a policy of need to know. No, that is the government policy. So the government is trying to block information in all sectors of the public. They block it in Parliament.
No, they must give the information, Mr. Pierre.
They don't must.
Hide from it.
They don't must.
What day in the dark must come to the light.
Yes, but they don't must give the information.
But
they
they
could
must-
frustrate the process.
We have to know. We're going to know. How long they going to run for?
You see, we selected the government, You see, we are refusing to take issues when we're supposed to take issue. It's like you have a child, and the child growing up, and you just refuse to train the child. And the child end up thieving and killing people.
Yeah, because listen me, when they talk, when the leader of government business saying that they didn't pay NIS for contract workers, I know Mason, all people who is Mason, they must sign a thing with NIS. So when they sign a thing with NIS, any contract they get, any work they get, they must pay that NIS for them people and them. Right? NIS, they go out and get everybody right now, before time you make a NIS tell you if you make a week work with somebody, they're supposed to pay your NIS. Once you work a week work with somebody, they're supposed to pay your NIS. And which he said, in contract workers, you didn't used to pay contract workers NIS. I don't know where this man get what he's saying, Mr. Pierre.
That is a distraction tactic. So that you won't speak about the workers they fire on Grand Bay Estate.
No.
That you're going to forget the workers from Karikou. That you're going to forget the workers from Pause. That you're going to forget that government is sabotaging the source of industry. And people taking bait.
Development. Number 10, see what's going on. Number 10, hear what they're doing. Number 10, sit down happy, laughing. Prime Minister come out in and when he come out running down on airport. Like if she tells herself she had own Grenada.
But you see, you have to understand the National Democratic Congress policy is always like that. And I think this is one of the things that law and trick Grenadians.
Number 10, the people who take the finger and dot it for her, she have to give them back the thing. She cannot sit down and grab the people thing and jump and sit down there. I'm sure she don't get a day work for them. I'm sure she don't get them who take all the name on the list. Who she don't put it back. Just jump in and say she go in and work for them. And she don't do nothing for one of them. Just want to go and show she call her like she tells herself she big, she big, she could do what she want. But the not she can do what she want because not she had put herself there. She don't put herself there. She have to, as the minister says, she have to retire, resign, and go back and do what she had to do. So when she do that, nobody don't have to say nothing. But don't take the people's finger or dirty and go and show off on them. Mr. Player, have a blessing.
Thank you. Eric Matthew Geary. He said to a woman in a funeral, "Stop crying. You're not genuine. That crocodile tears." She did bawling in the funeral. Geary said, "That crocodile tears. Stop that. You're not genuine." So sometimes when I see people crying, I just watch their face good to see if they're genuine. Sometimes every time you see somebody crying, you're feeling sorry for them. You could put your face sorry, but do sorry. At one time, we had politicians crying. And all the time, they were just negotiating. By the time some of the law that is floating around, they jump fence. I always respected the saying of Tobias Clement. Yes, I have problem with NNP. But this political party is not inclusive. And you need political parties that are inclusive. And as I explained to the young men that I was with, yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah, my brother.
You take all the word in my mouth, Mr. Pierre. Mr. Clement, Miss Gloria, coming worse than Mr. Clement. Just now. Not Gloria, the NNP, the one that...
Yeah. Don't bother, yeah.
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 But then coming just as Clement and worse too.
Okay.
And worse too. She had to beg she bread just now.
No. Don't. We don't wish him bad for anybody.
I'm telling you, she had to beg she bread.
Yeah, but we don't wish him...
She take advantage on them people.
Let me say something to you. It's the same thing...
She take advantage on them people who would vote for her.
It's the same thing the NDC members doing. Wishing people pound stone and all sort of thing. So we don't wish him bad for anybody. All of us are Grenadians.
Yes.
And when one person is affected...
But she don't do like that?
Yeah, but we cannot behave that way. We have to constantly remind people that we are all Grenadians. If your child go wrong, sometimes your child married to my child. And then we have problems. Yeah, so we have to wish everybody do well while we point out to them to change.
Them people are not vote for her. She take advantage on them.
Well, they're going to find out that. Yeah. So we have to constantly concern about the policies of government. Now, I am worried. When I said before, during the industrial action with the teachers, I spoke on it and I was very disappointed. I said these actions is going to cause violence. Not now, but 5, 10, 15 years you will see the impact. The government policy No. And that's what I'm complaining about. Is sowing discord. It is causing fracture. The language, the dismissive language, the very contemptuous language, the language that is used, the utterance with disdain that comes from the head of the NDC organization is unacceptable. You had individuals on radio for years doing what I consider was preaching hate. They have been honored by the NDC hierarchy. The motivational speaker, funded by financial institution, the language used is unacceptable, is objectionable. And when the Prime Minister of Grenada, he said it was not transformation. I still hear people talking about transformation. The Prime Minister said it was not transformation. It is more restorative justice. The ex-Prime Minister says rebalancing, realignment. These people talking about human beings. When you see it plays out on the ground, the people who are losing their jobs, most of them are not working for $1,000 a month. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes. I heard you just tell me program they could call and talk about anything.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, but my trouble is that now I live in Shantimel, and I is a man who have a cane. I is a short-sighted man, just the same. And I is a music man. I don't even call me DJ Push It, but I play music more in my house. I have an amp, and the amp, well, the power in the amp gone. The technician man come collect the amp from me, tell me he go bring it in a workshop, and he go give me $150. He go bring the amp in the workshop and fix it for me. He passed 4 months now. He don't bring no amp give me. All what I think, he tell me he can't come by me now. He live in Shantimel. He go quite, I think St. George is the way he go. He tell me he can't come by me, but when he could have take the amp and go, he could have come by me in the morning. So he don't give in me at all. And that is me real comfort. Everybody in the village crying shame. They say, well, this man mustn't do me that. So I just put it on there because he bother in me. I don't really decide to call the name, but he know who he are. And Grenada small, so he better bring the amp, give me, please. I tell him even though he could keep the money if he feel he don't want to give me back the money, but bring the amp, give me. Whether he fix it or fix, I want it. You hear me?
Yes, my friend.
Yes, so in and between you must throw out a little thing on me and give me. A man with a cane, he short-sighted, right?
Yes, but you see, when you come on the air, you don't want to call his name, so why didn't you call the police to see if he could help you? Are the people who say they're sorry for you? You see,
what happened? I said, let me give a little chance still.
Okay.
I and him used to go down so good, and I used to move.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
To call police right away.
Well, then, best thing is so, because it either says sympathy without help is no damn good. Yeah. So sometimes some of the people in the community could try to engage him and speak to him.
A lot of them telling him, give back me arm, give me me thing up to now.
And he's a technician that going around and see after people.
Yes.
Well, he's supposed to know if he continues to do that, he's going to get a bad reputation. So yes. I do hope you speaking now would make him know that you mean business.
Yes.
And he must bring back your arm, give you, and make sure you're okay.
Right, thank you.
Yes, scholar.
All right, thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah. When you hear people want to take advantage on the physically challenged, this is one of the big worries I have. The sister from Union, she called, she said, I have Parkinson's disease. I have ulcers. The government take away money from me. The sister with the white cane, she said in 2008, NDC took away her money. She went to Mr. Tillman Thomas And she beg him. And they put it back. They come back in behind her again. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. How are you?
Great, man.
Just give me a little time to explain something about number 10.
Well, time is not on your sides, so punch.
Okay, so how long I could think about that? 2 minutes?
You have 2.5.
Okay, well, you see, with this lady, they had planned, because I remember when I was in a meeting, she went out and said that will be her last term with government because she daughter wants and one thing. Well, I don't want to make it long. But, and again, that all that time, she knew the plan they had. It was a plan something. Because, and I could remember on the NDC side, I don't know if it's Maurice Bishop's spirit or had to tell them, told them they have to get 10 seats in to form the government for this to be in parliament with 10. I could remember a night again we came out from St. George's in a meeting. When we reached in La Sagesse, they blocked our party thing. And how much of them came to the other meeting in La Sagesse and come around the buses and giving us talk. We're taking 10 from all. It's 10 we have to take. 10 we have. So possibly candlelight they had. That the spirit must be tell them is 10 they have to get for parliament. So they feel, and it's Miss Pierre, really they wanted to get her seat to make up the 10. But they don't get her seat, so they go around. This one had a plan with them already. So they go around now to get her, to join with them to make up the 10 in parliament. So I don't know, perhaps that is the spirit, the candlelight they had. That is what the spirit told them. They have to be 10 to do what they have to do. But it wouldn't be for long. God don't sleep in. He hears our cry. And soon to walk out what he have to walk. God bless you. Have a blessed day. I don't want to take up more time.
Yes, scholar. Maurice Bishop's spirit have over 3,000 people they put in jail. Plus those they castrate. Plus the woman from Brudge Grove that was killed and others. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yeah, man, I like your topic this morning.
Yes,
my
like brother.
God,
yeah.
I like history.
Yes, welcome.
Right. So, you want topic today, man?
Good.
Now, I think we have a Creole culture in Grenada, and look, we're gonna make our money this carnival coming in Grenada, and it's thanks to rural Grenadian who keep the broken Creole accent, and jab has become more important than nutmeg and cocoa now, because people come into Grenada for curiosity to see that we have a culture. You hearing me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So we have a jab culture. We could sell it. We can sell reggae music because Jamaica are more people than we can sell them their product, but we could sell jab, and jab come from Creole music. And a matter of fact, if we talk about Haiti, they play jab in Haiti too. They call it something devil. They play it in Martinique and they play it in French Guyana, Cayenne. So we look in Grenada, we keep a bit of the French culture. If you look at in the south of Grenada, where people try to be as British, they have no culture. You can even look at Carnival. Look where the bunch of artists coming in. If you can't speak in a Creole accent, you can make a good calypso. You can make a good soca song. So I don't mind if we take in 5,000 Haitian in Grenada. It might help bring back some of the Creole culture into our society, because even me, I still have a Creole accent. I live out of Grenada for a very long time, but I still have a Creole accent. So I like your topic today. We must be generous to Haiti.
Yes, yeah. I constantly discussing and advocated that over the next 5-10 years, we must have 20,000 Haitian and 20,000 Venezuelan. Yes, scholar. I always advocate, and in discussion in the rum shop and with other people, believe that Grenada must open the door to Haiti. We must be, and we over the next 5-10 years, we must have 20,000 Haitian. And we must seek about 20,000 Venezuelan. And I suggested a number of years ago that Grenada bring down 100 teachers from Venezuela and attach them to the primary school, not for the purpose of exam, but to teach Spanish, communicative Spanish, so that within 5 to 10 years, between 20 to 30, 40 years, we could declare a second language Spanish. Yes, caller, welcome. And caller, you got a punch. Take out the noise. Caller, you have to switch off the appliances when you call. Switch off the appliances, caller. Yeah, sorry, we lose you. You have to switch off your appliance and then call. Try it and you could have in a few words before we close. So I advocate that we teach French and Spanish in school. Yes, caller, welcome, punch. You got to take out, yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yes, caller. Take out the appliances, disconnect the appliances.
If you revoke a spirit, and the spirit used to do wrong things, remember Bishop used to do a lot of wrongdoings? Well, he revoked his spirit, so we expecting that this government to do a lot of wrong things. A lot of wrong things could happen.
Yes, caller. That is the end of yes, caller.
That kind of thing happening in this country.
I agree with you, caller, but that's the end of the game for you. Sorry. You have to call earlier tomorrow and we'll continue the topic. But I advocate that people make certain your children do mathematics, biology, chemistry, physics in school, English language, French, and Spanish. Make certain your children learn music. We already have Jab Jab. Jab Jab is going to stay with us for a long time. Teach your children to beat the drum and blow the shell. Some of them could make money from Jab Jab. We have over 500 soca artists. Imagine if they could have speak Spanish. We might have able to attract Latin America market. So we're back with you tomorrow for another opportunity to punch.